Last period we have seen the meaning of reserves and provisions, difference between reserves and provisions, types of reserves, revenue reserve, capital reserve and secret reserve, difference between revenue reserve and a capital reserve. Okay, so in that only one item, the difference, reserve is shown in the liability side. We know that liability side under reserve and surplus, reserves and surplus, under that only reserve it will come. Then provision, they are sending normally subtracted from the respective item. If it is depreciation, provision for depreciation on machinery, so from machinery we have to minus. If it is debtor is there, from debtor we have to minus provision. Okay, suppose if this provision and depreciation, if you are writing, sometimes we can show on the liability side, provision for depreciation, that amount we can write, that depreciation amount. So machinery, suppose 1 lakh, depreciation 5,000, outer column 95,000. Instead of that, machinery 1 lakh he can write in asset side, liability side we can write provision for depreciation 5,000. Okay, reserve only it will come, liability side only. Then provision, two choices there, normally deduct from the respective item, otherwise balance sheet liability, balance sheet liability. So we can see that in trial balance, a provision for doubtful debt, credit balance is given. Okay, provision for bad debt, old provision. Okay, that is credit, no, that is credit. Okay, so that you can write a liability. Two choices there, but reserve and surplus, it will come only in the reserve, it will come only in balance sheet liability. A provision respective from deduct from respective assets, then otherwise liability side. Okay, so in that chapter we studied main two method of depreciation, fixed installment method and written down value method. So you can expect, okay, question from that, fixed installment and written down value method. Clear? Then reserve and surplus theory, sure. Next one, next chapter, last chapter, bills of exchange. So we completed every chapter except bills of exchange. Okay, first theory base, introduction to accounting, theory base of accounting, recording of transaction 1, recording of transaction 2, bank reconciliation statement, trial balance and rectification of errors, depreciation. Okay, then one more chapter, bills of exchange. Then second part, final account 1, final account 2, then a single entry system. Okay, so now last chapter, bills of exchange. Okay, so already we studied about bills of exchange under negotiable instruments, negotiable instrument laws relating to Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Okay, in banking. Okay, third chapter or third chapter we studied. Fourth chapter, laws relating to bills of exchange, same only, same theory only. Okay, so here means we have to record the transaction in the books of drawer, journal entries in the books of drawing. Okay, so okay, so already we know what do you mean by bills of exchange. Already we said credit is a most powerful instrument to promote sale. So most of the transactions of the business are usually conducted on credit basis. Okay, Then suppose whenever we purchased goods on credit from a supplier, we usually need a credit period. If we have no any liquid cash, we need a credit period. Suppose if we are making any oral promise of making payment in future, I will give this amount after 2 months, then they will not accept. But if the seller, if the supplier asks us to give the undertaking of future payment in a written paper, that is called bills of exchange. Okay, so bills of exchange, it is considered as an legal document, and it is considered as an evidence of debt. Evidence of debt. Okay, so already I saw the format of bills of exchange. Okay, so what do you mean by bills of exchange? Everyone know it is a written acknowledgement of debt given by one person to another. Written acknowledgement of debt, it is considered as an evidence of debt. It is given by one person to another. It is drawn by, it is written by the seller. It is written by the seller. Who is writing the bill of exchange? Seller is writing. Give that amount to me after that date. Okay, it is drawn by the seller on his debtor, buyer. Okay, it direct the buyer, it direct the debtor to pay a definite amount on demand. Definite amount on demand, or on demand. Whenever they are demanding, whenever the seller is demanding, that is bills on demand. Types of which one period of bill is there? Bill on demand. So whenever the seller is demanding, that time the buyer have to give the amount, or after the expiry of this period stated therein. Otherwise, after the expiry of the period. Suppose if the period is, if the period of bill is for 3 months, after 3 months. Okay, so it is a legal document and is considered as an evidence of debt. That is bill of exchange, already we know. So bill of exchange defined by the section 5 of the Indian Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 as an instrument in writing containing an unconditional, without any condition. So after that, which date, if which one, if the seller is not there, I won't give the amount. That condition is not attached. Unconditional order signed by the maker. Signed by the maker. Maker who is making the bill? Seller. Seller is writing the bill. So signed by the maker, directing a certain person, directing a buyer to pay a certain sum of money only to me, or to the order of a certain person. Otherwise, on my order, according to my order, other person, or to the bearer of the instrument, or to who who is holding that instrument, that bill of exchange, to that person. Which one you have to give amount, because endorsement, we know endorsement. So we can transfer the instrument from one person to another person, that is endorsement. So to that person we have to, the buyer have to give the amount, that is bills of exchange. Already you studied. Okay, so it is done by the seller on his debtor, on his buyer. It direct the buyer to pay an amount on demand or after the expiry of the certain period. Okay, so that is which one? Bills of exchange. Don't confuse the bill of exchange and promissory note. Okay, it is drawn by the buyer. Okay, that you have to remember one, that you have to remember. So that is bills of exchange. Next, already we know features of bills of exchange. It should be in writing. It should contain an order by the seller to the purchaser to make the payment in future. It is an order by the seller to the buyer to make the payment in future. The order should be unconditional. No condition is attached. So if there is any condition is attached, then it is not a bill of exchange. Then it must be signed by the maker. Who is a maker? Drawer, otherwise seller. Okay, it must be signed by the maker who is writing the bill. That person must be signed by the which one? Bill of exchange. Next, it must be addressed to a certain definite person. So in that bill, we are addressing to which one? To whom? That buyer. Okay, it must be addressed to a certain definite person. Then the amount ordered to be paid in the bill must be certain, correct amount, that it must be specified, it must be certain. Okay, that is the features. So these are the features of bills of exchange. Okay, it should be in writing, it should be contain an order by the seller to the buyer to make the payment in future. The order must be unconditional, it must be signed by the seller, it must be addressed to a certain definite person, the amount ordered must be certain. Next, already we know that, already we studied parties to a bill of exchange. Parties to a bill of exchange, there are three parties: drawer, drawee, or acceptor, and the payee. It is very important because we have to write the journal entry mail in the books of drawer and drawee. Okay, pay also sometimes endorse C. So first one, drawer. Already we know who is a drawer, who is writing the bill, is a seller, he is the creditor and writes a bill of exchange on the debtor. He puts his signature on the bill, that is drawer. Who is a drawer? Who is writing the bill? That person is known as a drawer. He is the seller. The drawee or the acceptor, who is that? He is the buyer or debtor, and the bill is written on him by the drawer. Order him to pay certain amount after a fixed period. Order him to pay certain amount after a fixed period. He is the debtor and the bill is written on him. He is the debtor and the bill is written on him. Okay, you means he is the drawer, he is the creditor and writes a bill of exchange on the debtor. Here he is the debtor and the bill is written on him. Next, he is the payee. Who is the payee? He is the person to whom the payment of the bill is to be made on the maturity date. At the end of the maturity date, to whom we are giving the amount, that person is called payee. Payee. Okay, is the person to whom the payment of the bill is to be made on the maturity date. Payment of the bill is to be made on the maturity date. Sometimes the drawer and the payee can be the same party. Okay, suppose if the payment is made to the drawer, means seller, means that person may be the which one, payee. Okay, when payment is to be made to the drawer. Otherwise, another person. Suppose I sold goods on credit to Sharath. Okay, so I am the drawer, so I will write the bill. I will write the bill of exchange. Okay, then I will sign. Then I will give it to Sharath. Then Sharath will accept. Accept means he will sign. He accepted. He will write accepted. Then he will sign. Then he will return to me. Now I am the holder of bill of exchange. So suppose if I purchased goods on credit from Aditya, so instead of giving cash, I can give that bill. Okay, so in that case, Aditya is the payee. Okay, to whom the amount of the bill is to be made. So these are the parties to a bill of exchange: drawer, seller; drawee, buyer; payee, to whom the payment of the bill is to be made on the maturity date. Next, advantages already we studied. With the help of this, we can purchase the goods and services on credit basis. Then second one, it is a written acknowledgement of debt and is considered as a conclusive proof of the indebtedness. So it can be discounted at a bank so that the firm allowing credit can receive cash immediately without the debtor having to pay before the time. Means we can discount the bill. It means what? Suppose I am the now I am the holder, I am the seller, now I am the holder of the bill. Suppose now I want emergency cash because the maturity period is after 3 months, but now I want emergency cash. Suppose if I give that bill, that written document to my bank, they will give the amount to me before the maturity period, but they will deduct some amount as a discount. Okay, so but we can discount, we can encash the amount. Next one, it is a negotiable instrument. It can be readily transferred from one person to another. So I am doing now. So I given to Aditya. That is. Next, if it is dishonored, so if the bill is dishonored, means at the time of maturity date, at the date of maturity, Sharath is not giving the amount to me or to Aditya. So it is dishonored. So it would be easier to recover the amount legally than in the case of an ordinary debt. Because if he is not giving the amount, he can file a case against Sharath. Okay, because it is considered as a legal evidence. Okay. Next, in foreign trade, if it is a foreign bill of exchange are a great assistance enabling parties to make and receive a payment. Okay. So, if example, if you are exporting or importing goods, if you have no liquid cash, we can make a foreign bills of exchange. Okay. It will be a great assistance. So that is related to advantages of bills of exchange. So with the help of this, we can purchase goods and services on credit basis. It is considered as a conclusive proof of the indebtedness. We can discount the bill with the bank, then we can encash the amount, and it is a negotiable instrument and can be transferred from one person to another person. Then if it is dishonored also, we can easily recover the amount from the drawee. Okay, we can file a case against the drawee. If it is a foreign bill, we can make a foreign trade. Okay, we can purchase, we can import and export the goods with the help of the bill of exchange. Then these are the term related to the which are the bills of exchange. Okay, that you have to study. So if you are doing the problem, it will be used. Drawing a bill. What do you mean by drawing a bill? So when a example I given, when a seller sold goods to the buyer, then seller writes a bill to the buyer asking him to pay the amount on demand or on a stipulated date to seller or to another person named in the instrument. This is called drawing a bill. This is called drawing a bill. What do you mean by drawing a bill? When a seller sold goods on credit to the buyer, then the seller writes a bill. In that, he will specify to pay the amount on demand or after the expiry of this specific period to me or to another person named in the instrument. That is called drawing the bill. So this instrument is known as, that paper is known as draft. That is called draft. Okay, that is called draft. So next one, acceptance of bill. Drawing the bill, we understood that the seller wrote the bill. Seller wrote the bill. That is which one? Draft. That instrument is called draft, drawing of the bill. Next one is acceptance of the bill. So already we studied drawing a bill. A bill is drawn by one person upon another does not make the drawee liable for the payment of the amount. Suppose the seller wrote the bill, but it will not be a valid bill of exchange. When only it will be a valid bill of exchange? Only when the drawee accept the bill. Okay, means the drawee must accept the bill before he can be made liable. Okay, so then only it will become the valid bill of exchange. It will become a valid bill of exchange when the drawee accept the bill. So how we can understand whether he accepted? This is done by writing the word accepted. Writing the word accepted across the face of the bill of exchange, and you have to put the signature. Okay, with the signature and date. That is called acceptance of the bill. Okay, so normally what we have to do after writing the bill, the drawer have to give that bill to the drawee. Suppose I sold goods on credit to Sharath, means I have to write the bill. If I am writing the bill, means that is drawing the bill. After that, if it becomes a valid bill of exchange, what I have to do? I have to give that bill to the Sharath. Then Sharath, if it is an ordinary bill, Sharath have to accept within 48 hours of its receipt from the drawer. Otherwise, it will be considered as dishonored by non-acceptance. dishonored by non-acceptance. And he must accept. He have to write accepted, then the signature, then the date. With the signature and the date, you have to put in that bill. Then you have to return to me. Then only it will become a valid bill of exchange. Otherwise, it will become dishonored by non-acceptance. Already I said, if it is a dishonored, these are two types of dishonor. Dishonored by non-acceptance and dishonored by non-payment. Clear? So it will become a valid bill of exchange only when the drawee accept the bill. This is by writing the word accepted. Okay, accepted across the face of the bill of exchange with his signature and date. That is called acceptance of the bill. Okay, so you have to accept within 48 hours of the receipt of the bill from the maker of the bill. Next one. Okay, next case, term of bill. Term of bill. So what do you by term of bill? The period of which bill is drawn is called term of bill. Means the time period between drawing and the date of maturity. Between the date of drawing and the date of maturity. That is called the drawing and the date of maturity. That is called term of bill. Term of bill. Okay, so term of bill. The period for which a bill is drawn, that is called a term of bill. That is very important. So there are three type of bill is there. Bill on demand or at sight. Bill at sight. Bill on demand or bill at sight. Next, bill after date. Last, bill after sight. Bill after sight. Okay, bill after date, bill on demand, and bill at sight. So already said, what do you mean by term of bill? Period of bill. That period between the drawing and the date of maturity. The period between the date of writing the bill and the date of maturity. So there are three type of bill: bill on demand or bill at sight. Then bill after date, then bill after sight. Bill after sight. First one, bill on demand or bill at sight. This is payable on presentation for payment. Means there is no time period for the period of the bill, for the term of the bill. No time period. Means this is payable immediately on presentation for payment. This is payable. When only this liability will arises. Suppose if I prepared bill on demand or bill at sight on a Sharath. So whenever I am demanding the amount, he have to give. No time period is there. No month is there. No days is there. Whenever I am demanding, he have to give the amount to me. That is bill on demand or bill at sight. So, okay, when it will become payable, amount will become payable. Next one, after date. After date. After date means this kind of bill are payable when only this amount we are taking consideration after certain number of days. We are considering after certain number of days, otherwise months. As stated in the bill of exchange, sometimes they will tell 56 days after bill, otherwise 2 months after bill. After that, they have to give. So, as stated in the bill of exchange, from the date of drawing the bill, from the date of drawing the bill, means the date of drawing the bill to that maturity date. Suppose the date of drawing, if it is 2nd January, okay, so maturity date is 2 months. So 2 month means February, March 2nd. March 2nd, they have to give, Sharath have to give amount to me. That is bill after date. So January, 2nd January, I wrote the bill. That date to 2 months. Okay, this kind of bill are payable. Suppose which one? 30 days means January 2nd to 30 days. So 29 plus 29, January 29 remaining, then to February 2. Okay, so days means that days you have to consider. In month, January 31 days that you have to consider. Month, no problem. So January to then March 2nd. Okay, if it is 2 months. Clear? So this kinds of bill are payable after a certain number of days or months as stated in the bill of exchange from the date of drawing the bill. Then what is by bill after sight? Same only one difference. This kind of bill are payable after a certain number of days or months as stated in the bill of exchange from the date of acceptance of the bill. So here how to calculate the period? From the date of acceptance of the bill. Suppose I wrote the bill on 2nd January and I given to the Sharath, but Sharath accepted on 4th Jan. Sharath accepted on 4th Jan. So here I have to take from 4th Jan to month. So 4th March. So here I have to calculate bill from the date of acceptance of the bill. When he wrote accepted with his signature and date, that date to month, mature date. Okay, that we have to consider. Month and days we have to consider. That is bill after sight. Bill after sight. Bill after sight. Clear? So period for which a bill is drawn. First one, whenever the seller is demanding, they have to give. Buyer have to give. Second means here how to calculate from the date of drawing the bill to month and days we have to take consider. Next, when it becomes payable, from the date of acceptance of bill to month or days we have to consider. That is which one related to term of bill. Bill on demand, bill at sight, bill after date, bill after sight. Sometimes question it is given, so it is very important. The date is very important. So if it is bill after sight means you have to consider the date of acceptance to the maturity date. Okay, so this is which one? Bill of exchange. Next, one more word is there, days of grace. Days of grace and date of maturity. Days of grace and date of maturity. So what do you mean by date of maturity? Already we know that the date on which a bill of exchange becomes payable. The date on which a bill of exchange becomes payable. So last example I said, so 2nd March. Bill after 2nd March, that is the 2nd March. That is the date of maturity. The date on which bill of exchange becomes payable. That is called due date or date of maturity. So what do you mean by days of grace? What do you mean by days of grace? The date of maturity is calculated by adding 3 more days to the nominal due date. This is very important. Adding 3 more days to the nominal due date. That is called days of grace. Okay, so 3 more extra days we are given to the acceptor for making the payment of the bill. That is called days of grace. Means whenever we are calculating the maturity date, we are calculating the maturity date, we can't write 2nd March, 2 plus 3. 5th March, it is the maturity date. Mature date, whenever we are writing the mature date, that plus 3, that is days of grace. It is normally we are giving, legally we are giving to the acceptor for making the payment of the bill. That is called days of grace. Okay, that is very important. One more question you can expect. Three extra days over the nominal due date legally given to the acceptor for making the payment of bill. That is called days of grace. Days of grace. 3 more extra days normally given to the, normally which one we are giving to the acceptor for making the payment of the bill. Legally we are providing. So next, if it is a bill after sale, means 4th, 4 plus 3, 7th March is the maturity date. Okay, the date of maturity is calculated by adding 3 more days to the nominal due date. So we will do some calculation, then only you will start the problem. So theory related bill of exchange is over. Okay, so we will calculate the some problem I will give, calculating the date of maturity, then we will start the main problem. So it is very easy. Attend the class. Okay, thank you.